All right, team, welcome to this training where we're going to go ahead and break down the phone and text messaging importance concepts that are going to be critical for you before you go ahead and get your business phone and text messaging up and running. So we're going to go ahead and go over the foundation of what's going to be important for you to understand as you are going ahead and making sure that you are able to go ahead and get set up with phone and text messaging in your business, because it's going to be an absolute game changer once you actually go ahead and get this set up. So we are going to go ahead and talk about, hey, why is a business phone important? Why not use your personal phone for business? What are some of the legal laws in order to make sure that you register your business phone number? Is phone and text messaging going to be right for you? Do you have even a choice as to whether or not you do this or not? Spoiler alert, you do. And then we're going to talk about what is going to come up next, so that way you can make sure that you are rocking and rolling. So very first point on here, why is having a business phone, and specifically a business phone number, going to be important? Well, it's important because in general, what you are going to find is that 53% of people still to this day prefer receiving a phone call rather than going through email or something like that, right? So that's going to be just on the phone number point of view in terms of phone calling. Now, here's the crazy thing. Whenever you're trying to go ahead and get a hold of a business to see if they're open, what do? You most likely just pick up the phone and call them, right? So whenever you're looking for immediate information, that's what you do. And so especially for local businesses, it's going to be so important, more important than ever, to make sure that you have that professional image to maintain, hey, this is my personal side and this is my work side. So that way it allows for clients to be able to go ahead and reach out to you directly, right? So this right here, that is for phone calling, okay? Well, what about for text messaging? Well, guess what? It gets even better when it comes for text messaging. 76% of people say that they find text messaging the preferred way to be able to communicate. And I'm sure you've gone ahead and noticed this in your own life as well, right? In terms of picking up medications, getting your tire changed at the car shop, when you order food or groceries. All of these businesses are using text messages, whether that be automated or being able to have the client communication as well in a service-based business. And so the truth is that the reality in today's business is that if you want to be able to survive as times are changing, you can either play the big boy game and say, hey, you know what, I got to step up to the plate and actually be a real business, or the small boy game, which is like, hey, I'm going to just be a entrepreneur and kind of just dabble around here and there. And guess what? Small businesses stay small for that exact reason. So if you're trying to be a professional entrepreneur, it's very important to make sure that you understand, hey, having that business phone number is going to be very important for me. Okay. Now, the question would be, and on that note of talking about playing small boy and girl games, right? Let's talk about, hey, why not use a personal phone number for business, right? Hey, I'll just use my personal phone. That's what most beginners think, right? And here's the thing. The truth is that we are here to be able to help you grow, get more clients, help you learn how to be able to go out there and help more people, how to make income, impact, and freedom for yourself as well as for the people who are in your life. And the truth is that being a small boy or a small girl playing a big game is not going to work, because the truth is that when you are mixing personal with your professional, imagine you have 25 clients who just have your personal phone number, and now all of it is mixed there, right? And now all of a sudden you're trying to call up, let's say for example, you're calling up a potential client, you're calling up, what's going on there, and you got all of this mixed up where let's say a client is trying to call you, and then on the phone, you don't know, hey, is this a telemarketer? Is this a doctor's appointment? What's going on here? And this is what happens when you're mixing personal with business, right? Same thing on here is going to be business platform features, right? The other thing is that if you're using your personal phone, you're not going to have those business enterprise features, right? Things like a business platform like ClientKit are going to provide for you, things like missed callback, call recording, which are essential for business and legal compliance as well, okay? Another reason why you don't want to use your personal number for business purposes is like, hey, you can't use the automations and the workflow reminders. Imagine trying to go ahead and automate text messages that are coming from your personal phone number. You cannot do it, right? Imagine calendar reminders. Imagine those text messages like, hey, you have your session coming up. You got to be able to show up, right? What you're going to see is you're going to get 50 to 60% more people showing up to their appointments when you actually use those text message reminders. That is not something that you're going to be able to do with your personal phone number, right? And then down the road, as you start to be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to play the big man or the big woman game here. And you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to start hiring people to help me actually grow my business, which down the road, we're going to have a course and teach you how to be able to hire virtual assistants for as little as $400, $500, $600 a month, who can now manage appointments for you, who can do lead generation for you, who can help you go out and get more customers, right? Guess what? you're not going to be able to go ahead and scale to that point, which quite frankly, it's very easy to scale to that point. We're going to go ahead and show you the step-by-step. It's going to be up to you to go ahead and implement that. But the truth being, you can't do that if you're going ahead and running everything off of your personal phone number. And so this is the reason why it's very important to understand the distinction and the difference as to why you cannot use your personal phone for business purposes. So trust us. I know this is a new habit for many new beginner business owners to actually get used to. But as you start to make that a habit and you say, you know what, I'm going to use a business platform like ClientKit to be the one go-to area for all of my communication, well, guess what? You now have a system and a strategy that's going to be able to go ahead and scale with you, okay? Now, the important thing you got to know about this is that there are legal laws in order to register your business phone number, okay? So what happened here is that over the last year or so, because there was so much spam going on with the text messages and the calls and the telemarketing and stuff like that, there's some new laws and regulation that has been passed concurrently by the group of phone carriers, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that you can avoid any penalties, any fees, any messages being blocked by going ahead and walking you through that registration process in an upcoming training section, right? So right now we are in the training of phone and text messaging business setup. We're going to go ahead and walk you in the upcoming training section on how to go through that. And in fact, we've already gone ahead and done pretty much 90, 95, 99% of the work for you. It's already copy and paste once you get there. But we do want to go ahead and set expectations that approval process of getting your phone number registered is approximately can take up to, I'm going to say take up to because at this time that process kind of changes as long in terms of how long it takes, but can take up to 4 to 6 weeks. And so this is why it's so important to make sure that we're putting this training here so you can go ahead and get this process started right away. And don't worry, like I said, we've already gone ahead and built out 99% of what you can go ahead and submit. It's already copy and paste templates. And then on top of that, we've worked with ClientKit in order to make sure that the application process is step by step for you as well. But the important thing that we're mentioning here is that because even though we've made the process easy for you, time is still going to be a factor. So that way we want to just make sure that we are setting up the expectations of what the timeline is going to be. And then before we actually get into the actual application, we're also going to set the expectations of what the costs are going to be as well. So that way you can make an empowered and informed decision as you start to go down this route. Okay. So the question is, hey, is phone and text messaging right for me? The answer is it's going to depend. And if you want to stay a small business owner, you want to act small, sure. We've already said this a bunch of times, but the important thing that you got to know is that if you were to go out there and try to get this through, you got to go buy a new iPhone and then you're going to go over to T-Mobile and say, cool, I'm going to open up a new line. You're going to have a bunch of different headache, but what we're going to walk you through here is actually going to streamline the process so that way you can actually make sure that your entire business communication is streamlined as well. But at the end of the day, what we say to everybody is it is your business and it is your choice if this is what you want to actually do, right? Our goal throughout this entire program is to equip you with the knowledge, with the information, with the understanding of, hey, this is what the process is. I'm empowered to actually know if I wanted to do this. And then guess what? It's up to you if you actually want to proceed with the step-by-step if you want to go through that. Now, if you ask us, in our opinion, and in all of the businesses that we start when dealing with clients, especially a client business, having that business phone number in order to be able to automate text message reminders, confirm appointments, all of that is absolutely critical in addition to all the show up rate, additional benefits that you're going to get with that. But ultimately that decision is up to you. Now, of course, some new business owners who are kind of just dabbling into this or just kind of doing this on the side, sure, maybe they're not really doing much revenue or any revenue at all. They can get away with not having a business phone number for text messaging. Sure. I'm just letting you know that option does exist depending on if you decide that is what it is that you want to do. But at the end of the day, this is the reason why we go ahead and build this as a community-based education program, because our recommendations are going to be based off of what we have worked for us as well as what we have seen work for others in the industry. But we can always have a communication and a conversation inside of the community. And you can ask, hey, community, this is my situation. Would it be right for me? Well, guess what? You can actually find out because of the fact that you have access to that community. Okay, so with this introduction being said, what is next? What's going to happen next is that we are going to go ahead and continue and talk about, hey, we have to really have an entire training section about the laws, because it's very important that you don't break these laws around phone and text message communication when it comes to business. So we're going to have an entire training section around that. We're going to talk about the costs. Then we're going to start walking you through step by step, right? There's going to be training sections, step by step on how to go through that application process, how to purchase your business phone number, how to be able to hook it up to the business platform. And all of it, again, is 99% already done. All you got to do is just walk yourself through the step-by-step process. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been the training explaining the business, phone, and text messaging system. FDR has an awesome quote where he says, the only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubt of today. And so I would just urge you, hey, I know it's scary. You're doing something for the first time. You're going to have doubts, but you're crafting your future. You're going ahead and creating your future with every action you're taking. Keep on going through these trainings. Keep on taking action. You're doing fantastic. We will catch you in the next training section.